back to the Road to Champions League Glory with Bishops Stortford. This is episode 24. So we've come to the end of the season, and as you can see, we've finished in 16th position. So that's a secure place within this Championship League, and as you can see, we gained a grand total of 61 points. If you have a look at the player stats, Shea Harrison finished off the season as our top goal scorer with 13 goals. Neil Gormley had a very, very good season this year and finished off with a 7.23 average rating. William came back from his broken ankle and got a few more assists and finished up with 9 altogether. Reece Brown was our best pass completion player with 85%. Mo picked up 5 Man of the Match awards. And if we look down here, unfortunately Aaron picked up 17 yellow cards and Ben picked up 2 red cards. 17 is quite a lot for his midfield position. He was suspended for a few games. It did mean that we had to rotate in that position quite a lot during the season. But overall, we didn't do too badly with the red cards, which isn't too bad. So let's have a closer look at the table. So as you can see, we finished down here in 16th position with a grand total of 61. Last season, 61 points would have been about the same position, which is so it's respectable. I can cope with that. We were 10 points off the playoffs, well 9 points in total, so we haven't got much of a gap to make up. We've got a few more wins. I think if we turn some of these draws into wins and some of these losses into draws, then hopefully we can improve steadily, and next season we'll be aiming for that top half playoff position, hopefully. If you have a look, Brentford went up with a grand total of 98 points. They've had a very, very good season, with Leeds not far behind and Hull getting promotion through the playoffs. Relegated are Portsmouth, Preston and Barnsley. So we'll go down to League 1. Birmingham, Peterborough and Millwall will be joining us in the Championship next season. Birmingham had a very good season this year and finished off on 99 points. Unfortunately, MK Dons, Cheltenham, Barrow and Bury have been relegated. So have a look at League 2, and Doncaster, Plymouth, Crewe and Shrewsbury have been promoted up to League 1. Forest Green and Barnet have been relegated down to the Vanarama National. In the Vanarama National, Dulwich and Hamlet, who were a team I clocked up a few years ago, coming up that non-league system, and they've done very, very well and actually got promotion into League 2 now, so they're going to be a professional club next year. So they've done very well. They've got promotion. Last year they finished 7th. They've gone from 7th up the top. They've got a good squad and they've got a good. I like their kits as well, quite snazzy. They're doing alright. They're coming up slowly. They might be catching us up pretty soon. Coming up with them is Grimsby. Relegated, unfortunately, Burren Wood, Maidstone, Stockport and Boston. So in the Vanarama North, Blythe and FC United have been promoted. It's nice to see FC United getting up a league, and Blythe, who got relegated last year, have been able to bounce straight back. Unfortunately, Bradford, Brackley and Cambridge have been relegated. And on a side note, Salford still haven't got out of the league. They're sitting in 7th place. So down to the Vanarama South, who have our club in Whitehawk, who are one of our affiliated clubs. They're about mid-table, about a similar position to where we are in the Championship. Hopefully we'll be able to loan a few more players to them this season and push them up a little bit, help them out a little bit. Unfortunately, Hungerford, Kingston and Hemel Hempstead have got relegated, but going up are Torquay and Sutton. So if we have a little look at the Premier League, some big news really is that Southampton have been relegated with Middlesbrough and Cardiff. Southampton have got some very, very good players, and I think they're going to be big spenders in the Championship next season because they're going to gain a lot of money through player sales. And if you look at the top, Manchester United have won the league with Arsenal, Liverpool and Tottenham getting in the Champions League. Chelsea and Man City have missed out. West Ham are there or thereabouts once again. They've got a good little squad. They're doing quite well, to be fair to them. If you look at the rest, they're quite just middle of the park, doing right. There's a bit of a gap between 8th and below, but they're doing alright. So if you look at past winners of the Premier League, you got Man United, Arsenal, Man United, Arsenal. So switching it between Man United and Arsenal, no one else is really getting in there. Chelsea haven't really done much, and I'm surprised that Man City haven't done much considering the amount of money they're spending currently. So hopefully we'll be able to join them in the Prem sometime soon and be able to make a difference. We'll be able to get our name on that list. So if we have a little look at the end of season form. So when you were last with us, we played Blackburn. Then we went up against Brentford and only lost 2-1. I thought it was a respectable score, to be honest. We did quite well. We went 1-0 up, and unfortunately they got one back and then got the winner in the 61st minute. They did have a player sent off, but we couldn't capitalise on it, and we weren't able to get a draw or a win. But things improved from there. We then went to Wigan and beat them 3-2. We beat Portsmouth 4-1 with William coming back and banging in a hat trick. Wolves were very lucky to beat us 1-0. I felt yes, we didn't play amazing, but neither did they. They got a lucky goal and picked up a 1-0 win. Then we came up against Ipswich and beat them, drew 1-1. And then the two big games really, we were playing QPR who were fourth at the time, and we beat them 2-1 at home. And then we played Fulham and beat them 4-3. And at this point they were sixth, so they were just trying to get into the playoffs. So I think we respectively gave ourselves a good little end of season run in, and this was mainly down to a little tweak of the tactic. So as you can see, we played this 4-5-1, but with inverted wing backs. This is a bit of a change to tactic, and it's also a link to my assistant manager who suggested it. Ewan Williams, he suggested going in with the inverted wing backs. We've used them, and to our benefit, they have been playing well. Sometimes I feel it might be a little bit vulnerable when we've got wingers coming up against decent wingers and they're attacking against us, but on the plus side, we've got a lot more players in the midfield, because when we're attacking, these inverted wing backs come to centre mid position, join in here, and then we dominate. And then we've got the inside forwards who flick in as well, and we've got the attacking playmaker and the advanced forward who are there to put the goals away. It has worked. William has been scoring a few goals, but he is a little bit inconsistent. On a side note, William did get Young Player of the Season in the Championship. And this is very good considering he only came back the last few games of the season after being out for 3 months with a broken ankle. He scored 10 goals and he got out in 23 games and got 707. He got quite a few assists as well, so during the whole season, he got 9 assists, 3 player of the matches, 10 goals in 23 games. He did quite well. I was overall pretty pleased. He was just a little bit inconsistent at the beginning of the season for my liking. He picked it up at the end, which is fabulous. So hopefully that'll keep going, and next season he'll be able to stride on and get into bigger totals in the goals. So another side note is that due to the solidarity payment scheme from the Premier League, which is something that I spoke about during the season that I was hoping for, wasn't sure how much we'd get, but we have been able to receive a sum of 5.25 million, which has helped a great deal because that has meant our finances are a lot healthier than they were. So we are now overall on a 4 million budget. And they've been able to give us a 779,000 transfer budget and a 170,000 wage budget. We'll probably be pushing a little bit into the wage budget during the season, but not loads. We have got a little bit of leeway there. We're losing a few players due to end of contracts as well, which means we can have a little bit of more money to spend on players for next season. And as you can see, we are looking for we've just increased our youth facilities. We're looking for a senior affiliate, possibly a Premier League club, possibly a foreign club. I don't know what the board are going to come back with. They're the ones sorting it. They haven't actually asked me on this occasion. And then the other thing we have actually done is try to increase our facilities. So we've asked the board to increase our junior coaching, so that's now to average. We still need to increase our youth recruitment, which is still at fairly basic, and our youth facilities, which are below average, and our training facilities, which are below average. So we need to increase these, but they will steadily come along. I feel as we get a bit more money in the club, we might have an opportunity to sell a few players during the pre-season. There are a few players that I feel could gain a little bit of some transfer fees. As you can see, the most valuable player at the moment is William, followed by Cheyenne. Aaron's not far behind, and he's also got a release clause of 600,000. This was due to when I signed him, he wanted a match the highest earner clause, which I took out of his contract, but the only way he would sign is if he had a release clause. So I gave him a release clause, and now that I'm trying to sign him again, he won't sign because he still wants that highest earner clause. Well, as he's not going to be gaining that much money, I feel like I could be spending a lot more giving him highest earner because let's be realistic. We're hoping to get into the Prem. We're going to be paying players a lot more money the higher up the leagues we go. At the moment, we're not. At the moment, we are currently spending £7,000 at most. He's on 6. I can see it if he thinks that we're going to stay in this league, then possibly he might want it. But as we're not planning to stay in this league, we want to get up, then it might not be one to stay very far. As you can see, there's going to be a few players going to be leaving in the summer. These players that I feel are either got to the point of their ages are not helping them a bit, like Joe Garner. He's coming up to 33 years old. There's not really much point in keeping him. I don't really feel next year he'll give the team anything more. This year he's only scored 5 goals. Last season he came in, he was perfect for me for last season. He came in, banged in 16 goals, gave me his experience, and was able to pull in some performances. This year he's been able to come off the bench a few times. He hasn't really started as many games as he'd probably like, so we are going to be releasing him. So that is going to leave us with a short squad. We have got a large squad currently, and it is only going to get. It's going to probably stay about the same size really, because we are going to replace these players with better players. You've got to also remember there are players in here that are squad players and that are signed on contracts that probably are going to run out pretty in the next year or so, that won't be going up to the Premier League with us. So, if we have a little quick look at the squad for this year, stats wise, we did overall okay. We've gone over our top performers, but overall goals this year have been spread out through the team a little bit. Gormley did very well. I was pretty pleased with him. He's had probably the best season he's ever had. Shea Harrison and Petra scored a few as well, which is always nice to see. I feel Jonathan Benteke came into the season towards the latter end, but I feel he could score a few more goals. Assists, we did alright. As you can see, spread out a little bit. I would quite like them to be more in double digits. Average rating, we've got quite a lot of 7s and above, which is always great to see. Mikael Clausen, who's only came in January, got a 7-10, which is awesome. I think that's a nice little signing for us. Okay, obviously his current ability isn't the best, but his ability to get better and his potential is on the push, which is lovely to see. So next season, it'll be around before we know it. Really, we're going to be straight away going to be looking at freebies coming out of the Prem. We're going to be looking at a few. We're going to be looking at the international teams, looking to see who's getting released out of their contracts. We'll be possibly looking for a few loan deals, and at the moment we're going to be targeting a few key players. I'd say we probably need a new keeper. Dejan's done well, but I feel he probably needs a bit more competition in that first team place. Okay, Wayne Hennessy came in, but I don't feel like he's going to push the club any further. He's getting on a bit now. I think he's 33. We need new. We need better players in most positions. I feel we need a bit more strength in depth up front, and possibly we need a new attacking playmaker as well, just to give Benteke a bit of competition. But as always, I always say, if I can come across a player that is going to exceed the current player, even if I think my current player is worthy, then I will try to get him in and give him a good deal. So next season we're going to, like I said, top half playoffs is a realistic aim, I feel. We haven't been far off this season. There's form at the latter end, which is always the key end of the season for me, has improved. That means we've got a chance next season. Goal difference hasn't been amazingly bad. It's on 0, which is kind of showing that we're a bit neutral. We've scored just as many as we've conceded. That also means we need to score more next season and we need to concede less. So I need a little bit of strength and depth at the back would help. So we're going to leave it there, guys. As always, thanks for pressing play. We will come back probably the end of pre-season and a few games into next season, just to show the end of the transfer window, see who we've bought, see what's been happening in the club in the ins and outs, and we'll see how we're looking for next season. But for now, boys and Girls, we will see you again soon. Bye for now.